Welcome to Young Patriots, the heartbeat of African resistance.
In a quiet room at the heart of Scandinavia, the world's most prestigious peace committee released a short list of 5 names. One name stopped the world in its tracks: Ibrahim Traoré, interim president of Burkina Faso. Not a career politician, nor a product of elite institutions, Traoré came to power through conviction rather than elections. Now, in an unexpected twist of history, he stands as the frontrunner for the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize. What makes this story powerful is not controversy, but clarity. In an age of photo ops and diplomatic theater, Traoré chose labor, sacrifice, and truth. His battlefield was hunger. His revolution focused on alleviating poverty, educating students, elevating women, and empowering farmers. At 36, a soldier from one of the world's poorest countries became a global symbol of peace, marking a historic moment. The first time a leader under 40 from Africa, who rose through a military coup, was recognized as a serious contender for this prestigious award. The Nobel Committee praised Traoré as a rare figure, not spreading hatred or seeking personal gain, but protecting the conscience of his people. The peace he fosters in Burkina Faso stems not from political negotiations or international accords, but from a nation's collective will to live with dignity and self-reliance. His journey from soldier to statesman embodies a new definition of peace, forged in fields and villages rather than halls of power. This nomination stunned many, challenging assumptions about leadership and governance in the 21st century. It sparked global conversations, from the streets of Ouagadougou to the corridors of power in Washington, Paris, and Moscow. Since seizing power in September 2022, Traoré has spearheaded reforms that shook Burkina Faso and reverberated across Africa and beyond. His strategy, radical yet rooted in common sense, centers on peace through self-reliance. He reconciled over 12,000 armed insurgents through community reconciliation, vocational training, and resettlement programs, transforming former fighters into productive citizens. In a bold move, Traoré returned 3.8 million hectares of farmland, previously seized by foreign corporations, to local farmers, asserting that the land belongs to those who till it. He launched the Sahel Life Alliance, a coalition with Niger and Mali that planted 800 million trees across the arid Sahel, combating climate change and desertification. Fiscal discipline defined his governance. By slashing government spending by 60%, Traoré redirected funds to education and health, leading to the construction of 2,400 schools and 700 healthcare centers within 18 months, an unmatched feat in the region. Recognizing the link between nutrition and learning, he ensured 95% of rural primary school children received free lunches from locally produced food, reinforcing a cycle of agriculture and education. On May 4, 2025, Traoré pardoned 1,100 former militants, integrating them into the Farmers of Peace program, lauded by the United Nations as a global model. On July 1, 2025, during the Feast of All Saints, Pope Leo XIV, known for his commitment to social justice, spotlighted Traoré. "When I pray for peace," the Pope said, "the face of a young soldier from Burkina Faso appears in my mind. He does not preach through laws or scriptures, but through sweat and soil." This unprecedented Vatican endorsement, the first time the Holy See nominated a sitting African leader for the Nobel Peace Prize, framed Traoré's leadership as a moral and spiritual crusade. It challenged traditional notions of power and redemption, shifting the discourse from abstract diplomacy to tangible action. The Vatican's endorsement sparked a global domino effect. France, Burkina Faso's former colonial ruler, offered cautious admiration. President Jean-Luc Moreau remarked, "We may not agree with Mr. Traoré's methods, but we cannot ignore the results. He is writing a new chapter in Africa's story with action, not aid." In Washington, U.S. Secretary of State Janet R. Collins acknowledged Traoré's efforts toward regional stability, noting the opportunity to rethink 21st century peace. Brazil's President Luiz G. Costa was more direct, calling Traoré the new Sankara and praising his humility. In Moscow, The Russian president highlighted Traoré's pragmatic legacy as a builder of food systems, schools, and belief. In Ouagadougou, tens of thousands gathered, chanting Traoré's name under homemade lanterns. A hand-painted banner read, "We no longer beg. Now the world comes to us." For Burkina Faso, the nomination was like sudden rain after a dry season. Radio booths crackled with callers shouting "C'est trop victoire." Mothers wept with relief as their children attended new schools, free from the fear of militant gunfire. Former fighters, now in overalls labeled farmers of peace, irrigated maize instead of manning checkpoints. Across the Sahel, in Niamey and Bamako, celebrations echoed with dance circles and projections of Traoré's speeches. Not everyone joined the jubilation. Some elders worried about geopolitical pressures, but even skeptics acknowledged the facts. Terror attacks down, farm yields up, clinics open, children fed. Neighbors once divided by ethnicity now planted saplings tagged with Liberté, Travail, Dignite. On July 27th, leaders of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger issued a joint declaration, calling the nomination proof that Africa can break free from a history written by others. They announced the Joint Civil Command of the Sahel to coordinate food security, resettlement, and rural healthcare. Neighboring countries like Guinea, Chad, and Togo hinted that Traoré's model of self-reliance and regional solidarity could become a blueprint for African development. Debate intensified within the African Union, with some urging a reconsideration of policies isolating coup-led governments. A political commissioner stated, "We must judge leaders by the roads they build for their people." In Europe and the US, diplomats cautiously acknowledged Traoré's legitimacy, with some international lenders quietly reopening communication channels. The Nobel nomination transcends a prize. It is a symbolic turning point, announcing that Africa speaks for itself. In a spontaneous speech from the presidential palace, Traoré declared, "This nomination belongs to every mother who fed a child from her own field, to every youth who picked up a shovel instead of a rifle, to every teacher who taught under a tree. We are building peace to survive." Across Africa, students and youth movements erupted in solidarity. The hashtag Nobel for Africa trended globally, with demands for recognition of leaders who work the land. In Johannesburg, an art exhibit titled Fields of Peace showcased works inspired by Traoré's agricultural revolution. Pan-African leaders called his potential win a vindication of the continent. A farmer president is more powerful than a president in exile. A well-fed village is stronger than a foreign loan. On December 10, 2025, the world will turn to Oslo, where one name will be etched into the Nobel Peace Prize legacy. At 36, Traoré represents a new generation of leadership, unbeholden to foreign creditors or Western think tanks. If awarded, he would be the first sitting African head of state to win, the first nominated despite a military transition, a global symbol of practical peace, sown in fields, classrooms, and clinics. Whatever the outcome, Traoré's story has shifted the global conversation. He is a mirror to the contradictions of our time, a reminder that peace is not the absence of war, but the presence of justice, dignity, and land in the hands of those who till it. As the decision nears, the world watches not just to see who wins, but to understand what peace truly means in the 21st century.
Thank you for standing with us, for standing with the truth, and for standing with President Ibrahim Traoré. In these trying times, your voice is powerful. Don't just watch, be part of the movement. Subscribe to stay updated, share to awaken others, and head to the comment section. Tell us how you feel, what you believe, and what Africa means to you. Together we are louder, together we are stronger. This is Young Patriots TV, and you are the heartbeat of the mission. Thank you.